They number over 300 around the central business district of Accra. Some describe them as vagabonds, but the reality is that these children are victims of abuse. They simply run away from the people who need to offer them the fullest protection, support, and help them become the future leaders tomorrow. Their stories are very emotional. One of them accompanied the mother to Accra, only to be left on his own because she became mentally ill and was detained at a prayer camp. Another was constantly abused because his dreams about bad omen eventually came true. I tracked their movement to Osu. Like scavengers, they target leftover food wherever it's available, from tables at open eateries along the Osu-Oxford Street to dustbins. Popular areas you often find them are the Apple fast food and fresh tilapia joints. They time customers and pounce on leftovers as soon as they leave, and the scene can be very disturbing. Late in the night, nearly 11 p.m., I'm back at the Tama station. This is where the children sleep. Traders have packed after daily sales, and their open sheds offer them comfort. These women have also retired after carrying heavy loads to earn some income. They bath in the open regardless of these poor boys, exposing them to scenes not appropriate for children. Some of them can afford a little comfort. They at least sleep in mosquito nets to escape mosquito bites. But these neglected children are at the mercy of the weather.
Say insio e pitia moye de inda wo ha
se insio no e to ke se dia na adi nyanchi ne e betuma gina mo ama e dia chendi tia ne akọ national theater ne akoda do mu ti se bra size no e da yesike be nya adi tie beto de no ma be se tie ai so nis combo klo metuma bu klo ma bu no ma pla.
Have this lackadaisical attitude from politicians and policymakers because they feel that this is not like a marketable issue. This is not one issue the electorates are going to judge you on, unlike when they don't find roads in their communities, when they don't find schools in their communities. But I think that development moves beyond physical structures. Human development is a lot more important, because who do you build the structures for anyway? You build it for human beings. So if those young people are not given the right foundation, how do they compete with their colleagues in the Western world?
Interesting remarks, but what clearly is the mandate of the Social Welfare Department? Must it get these children off the streets and keep them in special homes?
When we come across parents who are so irresponsible, they have the means, they have the resources, or the support is there for them to care for their children, and they are just not interested, we shall take action concerning them and make sure that if they are not prosecuted, they will be linked to some pro-poor programs to support them with their livelihoods.
I think that social welfare hasn't been proactive. Lately, what I see is that the ministry is rather reactive. We see more of reports of some orphanages that claim that they are orphanages, but these are people who are actually being dangerously innovative in trying to, they just pick kids here and there, maybe one or two orphans, and they get all those kids who may actually be coming from intact homes to join, and then they say this is an orphanage, so we need help. So it's a way of milking the average Ghanaian, and then you send help there and they keep. And then you see the social welfare coming in and rushing in there. So the question is, who is registering? Is he qualified? Where is it registered? Who is monitoring the person? I have a feeling that a lot of abuses may be occurring.
Go-to targets of the Millennium Development Goals expect all children to get basic education. But obviously, these boys, like hundreds scattered across the country, are missing it. The greater impact is joblessness, poverty, and some end up as social misfits.
If you leave your children on the streets, then obviously you have no plans for them. So they will create a plan for themselves. And you know what stems out of those plans. Those plans have not been the best, as we have experienced in the past, because these are the ones who knock rudely at our doors. These are the ones who rape. These are the ones who record high levels of HIV infections. These are the ones who have cholera, malaria, and all those. So if you want to leave your children on the streets, it means you have not planned for them. They will definitely plan for themselves.
The reports indicate that when children go through abuse, it definitely affects their mental, emotional, and even spiritual lives. So you don't need the prophet to tell you that these kids may turn out to be something dangerous for Ghana. Some of them who may have survived and maybe not made it through the academic ladder are going to be somewhere as fathers and mothers. What have they learned in life that they can impart to the next generation? They may have very fragile mental health.
But obviously, this cannot go on forever. I once again sought possible responses from the Social Welfare Department.
This year, service centers would have been established. We're going to start with 3 in Accra here. We're going to the Accra Central area, Agboblushi, Makola, and then Malata Market. The officer in charge of the area will be made aware that these children are there, and before the service centers are established, she should go there with her team to go and find out about the situation of the children, give us a report, and let's start working on them.
I don't think we need to reinvent the wheel in any way, because many of the commitments we have made already, and we are subscribing to documents that our colleagues in other nations have also subscribed to, and they are doing well. It only means that they are taking the steps that they committed to. We are not taking those steps, so we need to get committed and not just make mere statements, mere commitments, but back them with visible actions. Those things. I don't think our leaders don't know these things. I don't want to believe so. They do. What is left is the commitment, and this commitment also includes voting commensurate amount of resources to deal with the issues. I think that is where we are lacking, and we need to deal with it.
Beyond the assurances from officials is a cycle of problems if concrete actions are not immediately taken about the plight of these children. Can and should human rights activists take on parents for neglecting obligations? Must government enforce laws that take away children forcibly from irresponsible parents, as it is in the US, for example? As the Ga adage goes, Ko New lemlin lae, wase o chemlin pa. The earlier we show interest and address this canker, the better, else they become vulnerable to criminal gangs and even terrorist groups like Boko Haram is in Nigeria. We can't afford to get there. Let's act now before it becomes too late. For Metro TV News, this is Gabriel Obodai Torgbor-Ashong reporting.